right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Easter to all y'all who celebrate. Happy Sunday, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. Wanted to get this on yesterday, but life got in the way, and of course, WrestleMania took place last night, and I wanted to watch WrestleMania, and hopefully we'll get this in or get this in and still catch tonight's broadcast or most of tonight's WrestleMania broadcast. So let us jump right in. We are coming to you from Miami, Florida, with action from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. The main event tonight will be a showdown, best 2 out of 3 falls for the Atlantic Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship, as these two men, GORDY and Frank GOTCH, have traded the title back and forth a couple of times, and tonight they will settle it all. The tag team championships also on the line as the Von Erichs take on Mr. FUJI and Mr. SAITO. And in grudge match action, Big John Studd will square off against TRACY SMOTHERS. On the pre-show matches that took place actually yesterday, it already blew up between Studd and SMOTHERS in a match earlier in the card involving HEENAN family member Curt Hennig taking on Tom Jenkins. And it was the power of Jenkins that was in control when Big John Studd came down to the ring and was able to turn the tide in favor of the HEENAN family, only to be confronted by TRACY SMOTHERS. And the presence of TRACY SMOTHERS turned the tide back in favor of Tom Jenkins, who won that match by submission. So the bad blood between TRACY SMOTHERS and Tommy Rich and the HEENAN family has already taken one turn for the worse here tonight in Miami, and we'll see them square off tonight in grudge match action. Also earlier in the show opened with Eric Young picking up a win over Pac with the spike pile driver, and the big surprise there was the arrival of Big Damo and Axel Tischer at ringside. So Eric Young with some new allies on board here in the AWF. Super Crazy battled to a double count out against Bobo Brazil. Super Crazy, one of the most unpredictable men in the Heartland, hit Bobo with a moonsault on the arena floor that left both men unable to continue. And Super Crazy crashed down hard and knocked himself out cold and had to be carted away from ringside on a gurney. Also, before we came live, the Eliminators, Perry Saturn and John Cronus, picked up the victory over the former World Tag Team Champions Larry Zbyszko and Tony Gurria by way of total elimination. Perry Saturn getting the pinfall over Tony Gurria for that victory. And now we are ready to get started. We have got 5 folks in the room. Neil Lau first in line, as always, the #1 fan of the Heartland. Thank you for your support. And Bear805 joins us here tonight as well. And we are ready for action. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a standard match. Introducing first, led to the ring by Bobby the Brain Heenan. Out of Charlotte, North Carolina, he stands at 6'1". He weighs 243 pounds. This is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And his opponent hails from Yokohama, Japan. Standing at 6'2", weighing 225 pounds. This is Antonio INOKI. A return matchup between INOKI and FLAIR. It was FLAIR getting the victory last month, but they're going to square off again in Miami as both these men looking to get into contention for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. And we will get the cards set up. Bobby Heenan, of course, at ringside, having a little bit of a rough night already as Curt Hennig went down to defeat. He is hoping that the Nature Boy can turn the fortunes of the Heenan family. And on the opening initiative roll, it is Antonio INOKI taking control as Jeff Stafford is in the house and proclaiming the virtues of the heels, as it is Antoni coming out with a reverse hammerlock to open the match in the center of the ring, and INOKI is going to follow that up with an attempt at a jumping stomp. This is a choice C maneuver. He will need 6 or lower to hit the jumping stomp, and on a roll of 6, he connects with the jumping stomp. Both men getting to their feet, and as they come together again in the center of the ring, it's Flair. Oh, with a slap to the face. Ric Flair just slapped Antonio INOKI across the face. International incident in Miami. And now Flair with a hip toss. Attempted hip toss, INOKI blocks that. And it is INOKI who comes back with a series of forearm smashes. INOKI hitting some of those forearm smashes, and Nature Boy is going to fire right back with a single leg pickup, and a big knee breaker across the knee, taking Antonio INOKI down and putting a point of injury on the leg of INOKI. As you know, with Ric Flair's card, every time he injures the knee of the opponent, he adds a point of effectiveness to the figure 4 leg lock. And it is INOKI who is down, and Flair is on him, and he's going to go right to the figure 4. The submission roll here will be Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 7, INOKI able to escape, but again, that's going to add to the effectiveness of the figure 4 the next time it is applied. Flair now maintains the offense, and he is going to try for a pin using the ropes. The pin roll here again will be Snake Eyes, and Antonio INOKI again able to kick out. And now Flair with a knee clip, a clip to the knee, taking another injury to the leg of Antonio INOKI. INOKI is going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor in an attempt to escape that, but on a roll of 10. The opponent comes out and takes a whack at you with a foreign object. Ric Flair picks up a pipe wrench and again goes after the injured knee of Antonio INOKI. Will he be disqualified? No. And as the action returns back to the ring, Flair is going to go up for a death jump. Actually, he's got a choice H move here, which will be either death jump A or agility of -2. Flair's going to go for the death jump. And on a roll of 11, the wrestler with the better agility wins the struggle on the top turnbuckle. These two men are equal. And so that gives the advantage back to the wrestler on offense, which is Ric Flair. Flair still in control after knocking INOKI down off of the top turnbuckle. Again, using the ropes for an attempted pinfall. INOKI again kicking out. But every time you've got to kick out of a pinfall, it takes a little more of a toll on one's stamina. And now Flair is going back to the figure 4. It's a +3. The submission roll here will be 7. And just like that, we have a winner. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, in control of that match from start to finish. I think INOKI got one wrestling move in, but it is Flair with the figure 4 leg lock collecting the win, much to the delight of Bobby the Brain Heenan at ringside. So congratulations to the Nature Boy. He is celebrating in the ring, as is Bobby Heenan, as Antonio INOKI has to go away, hobbling on that injured lower extremity after multiple shots were delivered to that leg, including the figure 4 for the finish. So congratulations to the Nature Boy, your winner in tonight's opening matchup. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your next contest will be scheduled for one fall with no disqualification and no time limit. This is a grudge match. Introducing first, led to the ring by Bobby the Brain Heenan out of Los Angeles, California. He stands at 6'10". He weighs 364 pounds. This is Big John Studd. And his opponent hails from Springfield, Tennessee, standing at 6'2", weighing 236 pounds. This is TRACY Smothers. TRACY Smothers, one of the recognized tough guys in the wrestling business, and he's going to have to be tough tonight as he has given away a tremendous size advantage of about 8 inches and over 100 pounds to Big John Studd. But TRACY Smothers not one to back down from a fight. Grudge match dice are in play in this one, and it will be Big John Studd taking the opening initiative and hitting TRACY Smothers with a series of clubbing forearms. Just beating down TRACY Smothers, and now thought about a whip to the turnbuckle, thought better of it, and instead he's just going to lock up and shove TRACY Smothers across the ring. And TRACY Smothers right to his feet, comes right at him with a running cross body, and that takes Big John Studd over and down to the canvas. Wow. TRACY Smothers exploding off of the canvas to get the momentum and take Big John Studd down. Here is a jumping wheel kick, and that is going to knock Studd right upside the head. Studd rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And it is going to be Studd who grabs the leg of TRACY Smothers, brings Smothers out of the ring, and just rams him back into the ring apron. TRACY Smothers showing the impact from that blow to the ring apron. And as we all know, if you've watched the Heartland, the ring apron is the hardest part of the ring. And now they go back into the ring, and Studd with a big body slam. Smothers slow to get to his feet. Studd's on him. And Studd with a attempt at a headbutt. TRACY Smothers able to avoid that. And Smothers comes back with a attempted clothesline. This is a choice F maneuver. Choice F. Which means he can hit this on a roll of 10 or lower. He hits it, but only with a level 2 of effectiveness. And Big John Studd just laughs that one off. They come back together in the center of the ring, and it is Big John Studd with another series of clubbing forearms that takes TRACY Smothers down to one knee. Studd follows that up with, again, an attempt at a headbutt. That's an agility move, and TRACY Smothers by far the more agile of the men in this match. And Smothers again comes off and hits him with a running cross body block. Again, Studd will not leave his feet this time. Smothers tries the cross body block again. Studd will still not go down. Smothers comes at him again with a jumping wheel kick, and Studd stands his ground. Smothers wailing away, his blows having no impact. And now a flying shoulder block by TRACY Smothers. Again, cannot take Big John Studd off his feet. Looping right hands delivered by Smothers. Studd absorbing the punishment. Another jumping wheel kick, and Studd still will not go down. Big John Studd, a mountain of a man. TRACY Smothers hitting him with everything in his arsenal. Another jumping wheel kick. He still will not go down. And now it is a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Big John Studd. He is an A rating off the turnbuckle, and on a roll of 5, it is Studd bouncing forward off the turnbuckle and nailing TRACY Smothers with a skull-splitting running lariat. TRACY Smothers is down, and he is slowly getting to his feet. Big John Studd is on him now, and again, fails with the headbutt. Big John Studd might need to rethink that strategy, as now another cross body block from TRACY Smothers. And Big John Studd goes out of the ring and down to the arena floor once again, but this time Smothers is going to take the measure of Big John Studd on the arena floor with a diving clothesline off of the ring apron. TRACY Smothers throwing caution to the ring, doing damage on the floor. And as they come back into the center of the ring, it is TRACY Smothers with an elbow smash, and Big John Studd is going to fire right back with a big chop to the chest. They're going toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. Here is Studd with a backbreaker across the knee. That one looked like it hurt. Studd's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 3, and on a roll of 7, TRACY Smothers able to kick out. Dwayne Mart's YouTube network joins us here. Check out that wonderful channel. Always a good baseball game to be seen with Dwayne Mart's. Big John Studd still in control with a big elbow drop. Both men getting to their feet now. Big John Studd with a big clothesline. And Smothers down to one knee again, coming back at him. And now Studd's got him in the bear hug. Studd with a bear hug on TRACY Smothers, trying to weaken his man. Studd follows that up, continuing with the bear hug. And Smothers now is going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And we are going to go to the shenanigans chart out of the ring again, brought to you by TRACY Smothers. What is Smothers going to do on the arena floor? He is going to go for a foreign object. TRACY Smothers has picked up a steel chain from ringside. And now they're going to battle it out over the steel chain. And it is Big John Studd who gets control of the steel chain and gives TRACY Smothers a wallop. There is no disqualification in this matchup. This is a grudge match. Smothers takes a point of fatigue after being hit with the steel chain. And now Studd is going to stay on him with another big elbow drop. And Smothers again going to go back outside of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 4. That is going to take us to the odd even roll. And on a roll of 1, it is Big John Studd winning the brawl on the arena floor. This time hurling TRACY Smothers into the crowd. Smothers picking himself up out of the crowd. Somebody hands him a bottle of water. He takes a swig and goes right back into the ring where Big John Studd is waiting with another big body slam. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 5. And on a roll of 5, he got him. So TRACY Smothers got a few licks in, but it was Big John Studd in control for most of that match. Finally finishing off TRACY Smothers with a big body slam after hitting Smothers with that steel chain at ringside. So Big John Studd is your winner. And Bobby the Brain Heenan now 2 for 2 on the televised matches. And he will go home a happy man after his man Big John Studd claims victory. All right, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our title matches. A man among boys, says Jeff Stafford. We are ready for tonight's first title matchup. As we get our fast action cards shuffled up. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. This match is for the Atlantic Tag Team Championship. Disqualification rules will be in effect. Introducing first, the challengers, accompanied to the ring by NIKITA BREZNIKOV. First, from Osaka, Japan, he stands at 5'10" and weighs 258 pounds. This is Mr. FUJI. And his tag team partner hails from Tokyo, Japan. Standing at 5'11", weighing 262 pounds, Mr. SAITO. So the team of SAITO and FUJI getting their crack at the Atlantic Tag Team Championship. But their opponents, beloved here in the city of Miami, out of Denton County, Texas, at a total combined weight of 494 pounds. It is KERRY and David the Von Erich brothers. So the Von Erichs set to do battle against Mr. FUJI and Mr. SAITO here for the tag team titles. Championship dice will be in play, the black and gold. And it will be David Von Erich starting things off against Mr. FUJI as this match gets underway. And it will be Mr. FUJI taking the opening initiative role. And catching David in a front face lock choke and choking him down to one knee. Dirty tactics already being applied by Mr. Fuji as the referee looks very closely and tries to get Mr. Fuji to release that chokehold. And Fuji is just going to follow that with a double thrust to the throat. Wow. Fuji taking no prisoners here and just throwing the rule book out the window. Here is Fuji now with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes David Von Erich, and on a roll of 10, that is the power rating. The power is equivalent between these two men. So Mr. Fuji again takes advantage, and he's going to bring SAITO into the ring for an attempt at a double team. And on a roll of 5, your team throws the opponent into the ropes and delivers a bone-crunching double clothesline roll on level 3 offense. So Fuji and SAITO looking good here to open this match. SAITO already has the champion David in trouble. And now it is going to be SAITO applying the sleeper hold. Sleeper hold applied by Mr. SAITO. David Von Erich struggling to his feet, still struggling as SAITO tries to bring him down. David breaks free and SAITO congratulates him with a chop to the chest. Can David make the tag? He does. And into the match for the first time comes KERRY Von Erich. Fans here in Florida very engaged and committed to KERRY as the aggressor here, and he is going to go for a waist lock and successfully completes that, but SAITO quickly reverses that, and it is SAITO with a big chop coming off of the second rope, and that one staggers KERRY Von Erich. Can KERRY make the tag? Yes, he can. Quick tags by the Von Erichs to counteract the dirty tactics of the challengers. Here comes David into the ring with a knee lift, stunning Mr. SAITO. David going to follow that up with a drop kick that almost takes SAITO off his feet. SAITO is reeling. David comes at him again now with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Mr. SAITO, and on a roll of 7, it is a running back elbow delivered by David Von Erich. And now it is the Von Erich's turn to attempt a double team, and on a roll of 4, it is a devastating double team move. It's an add 1. Mr. SAITO takes a point of fatigue. KERRY now the legal man in the ring after that big double drop kick delivered by David and KERRY. KERRY now on the offensive, goes to the Iron Claw, right away to the Iron Claw. The submission roll here will be 4 or lower, and on a roll of 4, he may get him. Mr. Fuji going to attempt a pin save, and on a roll of 12, that is going to be some excitement. So give a point of fatigue to Mr. SAITO. Use a pin save, and on a pin save roll of 12, your opponent, your tag partner runs in, and so does the opponent's. While the referee is distracted, your partner drops an elbow on the opponent and reverses the pinning combination to put you on top. So KERRY is down. He'll be pinned on a roll of 3 or lower by SAITO, and on a roll of 8, KERRY able to kick out. But smart thinking there by Mr. Fuji to save his partner from the dreaded Iron Claw. SAITO now in control, and SAITO with a thrust kick to the throat. That is going to leave a mark. He tags into Mr. Fuji, and Fuji coming in as Jeff Stafford cheering on the dirty deeds of the challengers. Here is a big suplex delivered by Mr. Fuji to put KERRY back on the canvas. A falling headbutt misses, and KERRY now is going to take over, and he is going to come with an arm drag, but Fuji blocks the arm drag. And Fuji, in retaliation, is going to catch the Fuji nerve grip. The dreaded Fuji nerve grip has been applied. He is going to attempt to force a submission here on a roll of 4 or lower. And on a roll of 4, he may get him. It's David's turn to attempt the pin save. And on a roll of 9, he can't get it done. And we have got new tag team champions here in the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. Mr. Fuji forcing KERRY Von Erich to submit to the Fuji nerve grip. As David was unable to interrupt the pinfall, Mr. SAITO getting in the way of David before he could rescue KERRY. So the teamwork of the challengers, the deciding factor here in this one, as KERRY Von Erich is forced to tap out to the FUJI nerve grip. And new champions are crowned here in Miami. So Nikita BREZNIKOV gets to celebrate. And Jeff Stafford, a happy man, as it's been 3 for 3 for the heels here tonight, as FLAIR, Stud, and the team of FUJI and SAITO have all taken the measure of their opponents. And we've got new tag team champions in the AWF. Congratulations, Mr. SAITO and Mr. FUJI. Me likey this very much, says Jeff Stafford. As once again the heels prevail, Mr. FUJI and Mr. SAITO, your new champions. Heels rule, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your main event of the evening. The following contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. And it is for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger out of Humboldt, Iowa. He stands at 5'11" and weighs 208 pounds. This is Frank GOTCH. And his opponent is your reigning and defending Atlantic Heavyweight Champion out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He stands at 6'5" and weighs 289 pounds. This is Terry Gordy. So Gordy has actually been somewhat on the babyface side, at best a tweener. And Frank GOTCH, of course, a wrestling technician. So the fans really somewhat mixed in their allegiances in this match. All the fans except for Jeff Stafford. We know Stafford's going to be a fan of Big Bam Bam, as we square off for the 2 out of 3 fall showdown. As is the Heartland tradition, anytime a belt changes hands and then returns to its original owner, we go 2 out of 3 falls to settle it once and for all. And it is Terry Gordy who will take the initiative in the opening fall and come right out with a big headbutt that stuns Frank GOTCH. And he's going to follow that up with a big back suplex. And GOTCH already rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 6, that's going to be Terry Gordy with the better ring rating, winning the brawl on the arena floor with an Irish whip into the ring steps. GOTCH crashing hard, Gordy back in control, and as they return to the center of the ring, it is the Bam Bam Slam. That's a 0 finisher, so there's no need for a pinfall, as GOTCH will take the first point of fatigue of the match. And Gordy will follow that up with an attempt at a big Samoan drop. This is a choice G maneuver. And on choice G, he will have the option of the power roll of 8 or lower, or the death jump against an A. So he will go for the power roll, 8 or lower. Will hit the Samoan drop. And on a roll of 5, he connects on the Samoan drop. And Frank GOTCH is hurt. GOTCH trying to get to his feet. Gordy stays on him with another big back suplex. And this time GOTCH goes down and stays down. And Gordy will follow that up with the Oriental Spike. That's a 0 finisher. The pin roll here will be Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 8, GOTCH able to survive the first application of the Oriental Spike. But Gordy is in control, and Gordy now is going to go for another Samoan drop. And this time GOTCH is able to get out the back door of the attempted Samoan drop. And GOTCH will counter that with a crossface and an armbar. Taking Gordy down to the mat with a nice technical move, got behind him, took him down, caught him in that crossface, and now it is Gordy's turn to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor, where Gordy will win the brawl on the arena floor with a slam onto the announcer's table. Gordy with the rough stuff. Will he be disqualified for that? No, he will not. Gordy back in control. As the match returns to the ring, it is another big Bam Bam Slam. And now he's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 3, and on a roll of 4, GOTCH just barely got his leg over the bottom rope before the count of 3. Gotch in some trouble here as Gordy is in control, now going for a stop to the face. This is a choice C maneuver. He'll need a roll of 7 or lower to connect on that, and on a roll of 6, he got him. And Gotch is hurt. Gordy follows that up with a big elbow hammer. Gotch still trying to get to his feet as Gordy stays on him. Another elbow hammer keeps Gotch on the defensive. And now a big lariat by Terry Gordy just nearly took Frank Gotch over the top rope. Gotch able to keep his feet. And Gordy comes at him again with a big knee smash to the chest. Gotch finally able to regain his feet. They come together in the center of the ring, and Gordy hits him with another big headbutt, leaving Gotch wondering where he is. Snapmare takes him over and down. Gordy remains in control now with another big back suplex, and that puts Gotch down to the canvas. Gotch is down. Gordy stays on him. He's going to try that stop to the face again, and this time he hits it again, and Gotch is staggered. Gotch trying to get to his feet, and now another big lariat from Terry Gordy takes Gotch over the top rope and down to the arena floor. Gotch on the arena floor on a roll of 8. That is again going to favor Terry Gordy, and this time it's Gordy with a big suplex onto the arena floor. And Gotch remains in trouble here. He's getting nothing done against the power of Terry Bam Bam Gordy. And now Gordy is going to press the attack on the arena floor. And this time it is Gotch who wins the brawl on the arena floor. And Gotch who drop kicks Terry Gordy over the security railing. How about that? Frank Gotch with a surprise move that stuns Terry Gordy. Now it's Gotch back in the center of the ring. And it is Gotch who is going to try and catch Terry Gordy in a guillotine choke. Guillotine choke has been applied. Gordy powers his way to his feet. And it is going to be Frank Gotch now attempting a moonsault. He'll need 7 or lower to hit the moonsault, and on a roll of 4, he nailed it. And Gordy again is hurt. Gordy getting to his feet. Gotch getting to his feet. Here's Gotch going back to the crossface, trying to weaken the bigger man. Gordy still stays in the fight, and now the Iowa backdrop delivered by Frank Gotch. Both men slowly getting to their feet. Kathy Evans joining us here for our main event tonight. And Frank Gotch now with the crossface and bar arm. He's going to try for a submission here. The submission roll would be Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 5, Gordy able to power his way out. But Gotch with his technical and submission prowess has managed to turn the tide of this contest. Gotch stays on him with that guillotine choke. Gordy working his way back to his feet. Gotch with a headbutt. And Gordy is staggered. Gotch stays on him. Headlock and trip. Take down to the canvas. Both men to their feet now. And Gotch with a flying mare. Connects on that to put Gordy back down onto the canvas. Thought about a whip to the turnbuckle, and instead he's going to try for a double leg takedown. But Gordy powers his way out of the attempt at the double leg takedown. And it's Gordy instead with an attempt at a knee lift. And both men have just kind of battled to a stalemate here in the center of the ring with a couple of reversals. They come back together. Gotch is going to try that series of punches again. Gordy stands his ground, and Gordy fires back with a big lariat that takes Gotch off of his feet and down out of the ring into the arena floor once again. Gotch on the arena floor on a roll of 4. That's the double disqualification roll. Gordy will not be disqualified. Gotch will not be disqualified. We go to the odd even roll, and on a roll of 5, it is Gotch who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a pile driver onto the ring steps. Solid match, and this is just the first fall between these two men. Gotch now in control. Gotch is going to throw Terry Gordy back into the ring, and it is Gotch, with a thumb to the eye. Wow, I didn't see that coming, and neither did Terry Gordy. Thumb to the eye delivered by Frank Gotch, and now it is Gordy who is enraged by that, and Gordy is going to headbutt Frank Gotch. They are side by side in the center of the ring. Gordy stays on him now with a whip to the ropes. Dirty tactics erupting from both these men. Off the ropes comes Frank Gotch, and on a roll of 8, it is a running back elbow delivered by Terry Gordy that puts Gotch down onto the canvas. A big back suplex by Gordy. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 4 or lower, and on a roll of 8, it is Gotch able to kick out. Things getting a little heated between these two men after that thumb to the eye delivered by Frank Gotch. And now Gordy is going to go for the pile driver. This is a +2 finisher. The pin roll here will be 7 or lower. And on a roll of 6, he got him. So the first fall goes to Gordy by way of a pile driver. I think that thumb to the eye kind of set him off. And he erupted with a flurry of power moves and puts Gotch away with the pile driver to score the first fall. All right, that gives us a 30-second rest break. Including 30 seconds for me to get my voice back. We subtract 1 point of fatigue from each of the wrestlers. So Gotch by far took more of the punishment in that first fall, and he's got a lot of work to do now to get back into this one. As Gordy at ringside is getting loosened up and getting ready for the second fall. One down, baby, says Jeff Stafford, and as they come out for the second fall, it is going to be some shenanigans happening. More shenanigans breaking out between Gordy and Gotch. This time it is Gordy who will deliver the shenanigans. And on a roll of 61 is the wrestler smart. I would say Gotch is probably the smarter of the two. And now we've got Gotch faking an injury. Oh no. Gotch fakes the injury. And when the Gordy comes over to check on Gotch. Gotch comes out from the injury and he hits Terry Gordy with another thumb to the eye. How about that? And now a crossface applied by Frank Gotch as Gordy went down. And Gotch has got him trapped in a crossface. And now Gordy's going to try to escape the ring. Gotch not letting that happen. Gotch instead with an Iowa backdrop. And Gordy is down. Both men getting to their feet. Gordy is outraged, but Gotch is still on the offensive. Another Iowa backdrop, and this time Gordy is going out of the ring, and we're going to see some shenanigans on the arena floor as Terry Gordy takes you to the out of the ring again chart with a roll of 9. That's going to be outside interference, and the outside interference is going to be brought by none other than Terry Gordy. Let's see who's here tonight that would have brought some outside interference. Let's go with Eric Young. Eric Young stirred up some controversy earlier in the night, so Eric Young is going to come out and interject himself in this match, and we are going to see what happens on the outside interference chart. On a roll of 8, your ally distracts the referee. The referee orders him to leave. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So the intervention of Eric Young provided no help for Terry Gordy as they go back into the center of the ring. Referee putting both men into their respective corners. And it's going to be Frank Gotch who takes the initiative as they come together again with another Iowa backdrop. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is Snake Eyes. And oh, he barely kicked out. Terry Gordy barely kicked out of that one. And Frank Gotch has taken control once again. Gotch now with a half Nelson crotch hold slam. I don't know exactly what that is, but it doesn't sound pleasant. And now Gordy is going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor once again. And Gordy will win the brawl on the arena floor and drop kick Frank Gotch over the security railing. We'll call that a lariat over the security railing. Will we see a disqualification here? No. As they come back into the center of the ring, it is Terry Gordy now going to the Oriental Spike. Can he get a pinfall with the Oriental Spike? The pin roll will be 4. And on a roll of 8, Frank Gotch able to kick out. And GORDY follows that up now with a power bomb. That's a +2 finisher. The pinfall now is 7 or lower. And on a roll of 8, GOTCH kicks out again. GOTCH got that leg over the bottom rope just ahead of the count of 3. Referee says the match must continue. GORDY, with frustration, comes at him again and just pitches Frank GOTCH out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Frank GOTCH on the arena floor on a roll of 11. This may be a count out on a roll of 6 or lower. And on a roll of 7, GOTCH barely able to make it back into the ring after GORDY had slammed the head of GOTCH into the ring post. Another point of fatigue. GOTCH now busted open. A trickle of blood coming from the forehead of GOTCH after GORDY just slammed him headfirst into the ring post. What's Bam Bam going to do now? He's going to go for that Samoan drop on 8 or lower, and he hits the Samoan drop, and Frank GOTCH is slowly trying to stagger to his feet. GORDY follows that up with a snapmare, taking him down to the canvas. GOTCH getting to his feet. GORDY stays on him with another big headbutt right between the eyes, and Frank GOTCH is staggered. GORDY with a big attempt at a knee smash. GOTCH able to avoid that, and it is GOTCH who comes back with a flying mare out of nowhere. GOTCH trying to rally. His face a crimson mask. He goes for the headlock and tries to take Terry GORDY down to the canvas, but GORDY powers his way out of that, and GORDY with a big back suplex puts Frank GOTCH back down onto the canvas. Give Frank GOTCH credit. He has taken a pounding here as GORDY continues on the attack with another big back suplex. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 7, and on a roll of 7, he got him. So GORDY with a back suplex wins the second fall and retains the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship here tonight in our main event of the evening. So congratulations to this man, Terry Bam Bam GORDY. He had some help from Eric Young attempting a distraction without success. We'll have to see how that plays out. But Young with the attempted distraction to no avail. GOTCH was able to prevail against that. GOTCH could not prevail when his head struck face first against the ring post, busting him open and leading to the conditions for Terry GORDY to retain the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship here in tonight's main event. Thank you, Neil Lau, for the kind words about the Fed. Hope you all enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Thank you, Jeff Stafford, Neil Lau, Kathy Evans, Bear805. Thank you to everybody checking this out. Dwayne Martz was here with us as well for the live broadcast. And if you're checking this out on the stream, thank you all for checking out the Heartland Championship Wrestling, a sweep for the heels. Jeff Stafford celebrating alongside Bobby the Brain Heenan and NIKITA BREZNIKOV. And we finished at 5:59 p.m. Central Time, just in time for WrestleMania. So happy WrestleMania Sunday to everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network for tonight's presentation of Heartland Championship Wrestling. That's our stream, and I am out of here.